What we into this week?
Are you ready?
I've been ready, player.
Are you ready for some well-mannered frivolity?
What was that last thing?
Are you ready for some well-mannered frivolity?
Frivolity.
Mm-hmm. Are you a lordly lion preparing to prance? Do you have the outstanding moral fiber to dissect Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire with me, Rob?
I don't know about any of that shit.
Well, come along on this week's Wizarding World of Magic episode of What We Into, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire.
Oh, Goblet. Ooh.
What, you didn't watch that one?
Oh, I thought you meant...
Oh.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought you watched another Harry Potter.
You idiot.
We're on different,
You idiot.
different pages. That's not a goblet. That is a beer.
That's a beer.
Pour it into the goblet before we proceed.
No, I'm not that ostentatious, bro. I'm just a low hung guy.
So this is the 2005 movie.
Low hung.
That just makes you feel like you can't get it up.
Hey, don't you worry about my ED. I mean, no problems
God knows
in
you
that area.
I know that if you're on any of the porn websites, you can definitely find pills for that. I know.
Dude, I got a bodega I can find pills for. But
Harry Potter,
good ones anyway. All right, yeah. Goblet of Fire.
It's 2005. We were 25. I was 25. You were 24 when this movie came out.
Yeah, I was in. I had just graduated grad school, I think.
If you want to feel really old, it's based on the 2000 book of the same name.
Wow.
This is before 9/11, interestingly. I was 20 years old. You were 19. We were both in University of Evansville, Indiana.
Oh, shit. I think you're right. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only reason I thought about that is because there was like that terrorist attack at the start of the movie.
Yeah.
And for a moment I was like, oh yeah, she was just kind of writing off of what had happened.
That's right.
But then,
That's right.
Then later I found out the book's not till 2000. By the way, disclaimer: we are not Harry Potter experts.
No. That I was actually watching this. I was rewatching this with questions for Mary, our resident Harry Potter nerd and expert,
Lady Nerd 1. So if you were a Harry Potter expert,
feel free to fact check.
Yeah, send us an email, whatweinto@gmail.com, and answer any question that we might have. We'll try not to annoy you too much, but we're probably not going to try at all.
Yeah, probably not.
No.
I make no promises for trying not to annoy anybody. I'm loud and boisterous and extra. Actually, there was a buddy of mine I work with who was telling me the place that we've been working with recently, the Shed. Like some people were asking about me in the building because I guess they heard or found out I was doing a podcast. They're like, "Who's that guy with the dreads?" And he's like, "Oh, well, that's my boy Rob, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Oh, he is mad extra."
What?
Yeah, apparently I'm extra. So
what?
Just extra. I'm just a lot. I'm just a lot. Like I show up places and I immediately garner some kind of reaction, whether it be like, "What's going on?"
But that's why people love you.
That's also why people fear me, I think.
That's a good combination, though.
I don't know.
I
don't want to be feared. I'd much rather just be loved.
Which is the Harry Potter character that is loved and feared?
Neville Longbottom.
Neville Longbottom. Poor Neville.
Poor Neville, bro.
This is the movie where you really start to like, oh, I'm on Neville's side here.
I kind of love... This rewatch also kind of put into my brain how they kind of peppered in these moments to setting up that Neville Longbottom was going to eventually be the hero that we all needed. He was going to be the Harvey Dent of the wizarding world.
And I don't think they quite land it with the movies, but apparently it's better done in the books, according to...
Yeah, probably, because he only has these like tertiary scenes where he comes in and you're like,
yeah,
what the fuck is this dude? And then he slowly but surely warms to you in his way that you're like, oh yeah, he's definitely going to get a sword and chop a fucking snake in half. And
is that Nagini? Nagini. It is Nagini, right?
Yeah.
It's not a different snake. It's Nagini. We see her at the top of this movie too.
Well, I think they made a Nagini movie that sort of explains how we get from, Chinese girl or the actress playing Nagini is Asian, and it caused like a kerfluffle. Was this a movie or was this a series?
You're talking about the Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald.
You sure?
Yeah, because there was a whole bunch of kerfuffle at the time about how it was sort of like because she's Asian, people were upset that the snake represented that was known in like Asian culture as being a stereotype of Asian people.
Yeah.
That this came out around the time the Grindelwald movie was out last year.
I thought they were making a Nagini movie based on
They might be. I don't know about that. We'll look that up at another time.
Okay.
This movie had a $150 million budget.
What did it make?
$897 million.
Crushed.
Not dollars. $1 million.
Crushed it.
Highest grossing movie of 2005 and the 8th highest grossing film of all time at the time. 6th highest grossing film in the Harry Potter series.
6th highest?
Yeah.
Damn.
Where does this rank for you before we jump into the plot?
What's the one after this?
Oh, God. No, don't put me on the spot like that. Harry on Fire.
I was trying to think about this chronologically because I think it's the one after this, but I couldn't remember which came after.
Did you hear that? That was the sound of all the real Harry Potter people
clutching their pearls,
switching to another podcast. I
just don't remember.
Is it Half-Blood Prince, or is that too soon? Or is it Order of the Phoenix? It's Order of the Phoenix.
No, it's not Order of the Phoenix. I thought Order of the Phoenix was before this. This is their 4th year at Hogwarts.
Yes.
So but they're basically seniors at this point.
Yeah, let's see here. Harry Potter.
I thought Order came before this. I thought it was Order, then this, then...
Well, let's see. Okay, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, Order of the Phoenix. I was right.
Yeah, you got it.
Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows, and then
Half-Blood.
The play, yeah.
Okay.
We did Half-Blood Prince about a year ago. Maybe not that long. 7 months ago. That was fun. This they're not quite as mature yet in this one.
But this is one of I think this is where these films started to become interesting for me because they got real dark in this one.
Yes.
I mean, you see a motherfucker die.
Yeah. Well, you see 2 people die. You see the guy in the beginning
and then you see
caretaker.
And you see Bobby Patz at the end.
And then you see the guy at the end. And it's actually a really good moment because
there's mutilation in this one too. I was like, "Fuck!"
Yeah, it starts to go dark. Yeah,
and this is where I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I think I can tune in and get behind these now."
I had watched the first 2 movies, Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, and been like, "Okay,
yeah," I've been like, "Yeah, these are
good,
fine,
but they're kiddie,
exactly.
For kids, but they're cool."
Yes, right. Exactly.
Prisoner of Azkaban came along,
and I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, a werewolf homeboy. All right, yeah, that's Lupin. Yeah, okay, I can fuck with this.
Good actors in that one.
Yeah, they did."
And then this one came out. I was like, oh. And so for me, like, between this one and Prisoner of Azkaban, one of these 2 is my favorite, I think.
Yeah,
But these really pulled me into the world, at least from, like, a film standpoint, and made me want to see each consecutive movie. I think
Half-Blood Prince is my favorite, but Goblet of Fire is where I started to like these films for more than just, pop... filler for everybody was into these books. I read, like I said, I read the chapter The Half-Blooded Prince in the book The Half-Blooded Prince and was like, meh. Yeah. Which admittedly probably isn't to wade into that series.
No.
But I think I had already grown out of those books by the time they were so huge, and then
sure. I mean, we were 19, 20 in college. We're not going to. And I wasn't
going to go back. I was
some people were.
Some people definitely were, and I get that. I respect it, and I'm not shitting on that. But I was just like, man, I got way too many other things to focus on than these books about this basically child wizard.
But for my sisters who were in high school at the time, this was
right on there, right on there in their sweet spot.
They were 12, 13 years old at this point. I mean,
it was, weren't the kids started earlier, but
oddly, the book takes place in 1994.
Does it?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Neither did I.
I didn't know this had like an actual like real world date. Setting.
Apparently,
interesting.
I had questions, and we'll get to those in a second. But the storyline goes. Harry's 4th year at Hogwarts is about to start, and he is enjoying the summer vacation with his friends. They get the tickets to the Quidditch World Cup final, but after the match is over, people dressed like Voldemort's Death Eaters, which is a crazy name.
That's a dope name.
First time I've really thought about the term Death Eaters.
Well, I mean, that fucking logo was the dopest. I was like, wow, that's gnarly.
Yeah. Are you talking about his little Batman symbol in the sky?
Yeah, with the skull with the fucking the fanged skull with a snake coming out its mouth.
See, that's what we need. We need to brand what we into with like a little Batman symbol in the sky and then little tattoos that everybody who listens to the podcast gets. real tattoos.
Well,
I
dig the tattoo part of it. I don't know. I feel like the actual signal in the sky would get expensive.
Coupled with the appearance of Voldemort's symbol, the dark mark in the sky, which causes a frenzy across the magical community. That same time, Hogwarts is hosting the Triwizard Tournament. I have a lot of info on that. A magical tournament between 3 well-known schools of magic. There's actually 11 schools total, I learned, but they just get these 3. They get Hogwarts, the Bobatons, and the Drumstrang, whatever. The contestants have to be above the age of 17 and are chosen by a magical object called the Goblet of Fire.
I thought they only made that stipulation based on the fact that, there was, turmoil in the magic world. That was one of the things.
Which stipulation?
That the contestants had to be 17 and older.
Yes, well...
I was under the impression that before this point in the wizarding world, that the Triwizard tournament was open to any wizard who threw their name in and got chosen for
right.
it. But I was in the impression that was one of the questions I had. I was like, oh, is this only for a certain age group, or did they make it only for a certain age group based on what's happening in the world right now?
It's not an ongoing tournament, is the thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like a semi-annually, not annually, but like...
Well, here's the history, since we're already here, so whatever. Because I had my questions were, what is the point or purpose of the Triwizard Tournament? It's this incredibly dangerous...
Yeah, that's the crown the best wizard out of schools. I kind of get this. But that portion didn't kind of jar me out. I mean, you're at a wizarding school... and there's probably you got other wizarding schools. You're gonna compete. You're gonna be like, who's the best wizard out of all the fucking schools? Yeah, that all that makes sense.
Crazy dangerous.
Yeah,
and
so is football. So is every fucking sport. That's why your parents have to sign a waiver.
That's a good point.
That's why your parents they don't just let you play sports. Your parents have to be like, yeah, I'm okay if my kid is terminally injured for the rest of his fucking life.
Sign this waiver to go fight a fire-breathing dragon.
Yeah. You're a wizard. That's par for the fucking course,
There's
bro.
also some collateral damage here we'll get to.
Well, I mean...
Yeah. Okay, so the Triwizard Tournament is a famous contest between the schools of Hogwarts, Stromstrang, and the Bobatons.
So just those 3 schools?
No. Okay. It could be amongst all 11 schools, but these are the 3 that came together this year.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
It originates some 700 years ago as a friendly competition between the 3 schools. Each school took... See, this is... I'm reading... Yeah, maybe it is just the 3.
See, so that's what I'm at. And does Hogwarts take... does it always take place at Hogwarts? 1. Does...
I don't think
so. Does Hogwarts always compete in it? 2. Yeah. Who's won the most out of these competitions?
I would probably say Hogwarts because they consistently put 2 members of their own school in the running. They don't,
really?
But they do in this movie. My theory is that it's actually all the schools. I don't know why. I'm looking this under the Harry Potter lexicon. If you know the answer to this, let us know. But I think it's all 11 schools.
I feel like Lady Nerd 1 would know this.
And I feel it's basically to me it's the Olympics of
magic.
Yeah, but not just magic, but of the schools.
High school magic.
Of high school magic, right. The judges for the tournament include the heads of the 3 schools. Triwizard Tournament consists of a series of tasks designed to test the champions in many different ways. Their magical prowess, their daring, their powers of deduction, and their ability to cope with danger. Cheating was also considered a normal traditional part of the tournament. The contests were extremely dangerous. In 1792, this is the event that made them stop doing this tournament. So in 1792...
Wait. All right, time out. 2 questions. So they stopped doing this tournament for a while?
Yes.
And 2, I think maybe it is just 3 schools that compete. It's called the Triwizard Tournament.
Oh, good point.
So, maybe there are 11 schools, but they just rotate who can compete each year.
Good point. We're figuring it out.
We just... This
is like Harry Potter for dummies.
Probably. I was like, it's in the name, I think.
Dumbledore says in Chapter 12 of the Goblet of Fire, the tournament was generally agreed to be the most excellent way of establishing ties between young witches and wizards of different nationalities.
So they was just trying to get them to smash.
Until, that is, the death toll mounted so high that the tournament was discontinued.
So it was open to all wizards could do it.
The event in 1792 was a cockatrice the champions were supposed to be catching went on the rampage, and all three schools' heads were injured. So that means like Dumbledore, not at that time, but his counterpart was injured. All this, yeah, that'd be great. It's awesome. Like that moment when like one of the Weasley brothers is like, "Yeah, go dragon," and they almost
right.
like, yeah, okay, cool,
go dragon.
Most witches and wizards have grown up only hearing stories of these great magical contests of years gone by.
So why the choice to do it now?
The tournament was gone, but its legacy remained, and all wizard children are familiar with it. No one ever expected it to ever return. However, Dumbledore saw the tournament as an excellent opportunity to reach out in friendship to the other schools. The contest was reinstated during the 94-95 school year and held at Hogwarts. The champions from each school were selected by the Goblet of Fire. It doesn't really ever tell you why.
Yeah, I mean,
you know,
it's funny because Dumbledore said some shit to Harry at the end of this movie that I was like, yeah, but bitch, you've been doing that like his whole life. Where he actually apologizes to Harry for putting him in danger.
You know what he should be apologizing is grooming him to be killed by the end of the series.
Right. Well, that too. That also too.
I have a whole list of like WTF Dumbledore.
I was like, man,
things that he's done to Harry Potter.
I was like, bro, like, there's only one time in this whole movie where you see sort of Dumbledore actually do something that I was like, okay, that's what, you know, somebody who is the legal guardian of a child probably should say and do. And it's after old boy kills his father and they find his body out in the woods and he's like,
my son,
and he's like,
I cried. I literally cried during that moment. By the way,
I'm not talking about that. Fuck that. I'm not talking about that moment. I'm talking about the moment where Harry's walking through the woods and he finds the body of
Crux.
Crux Senior.
Barty Crutch.
And when he finds his body, and the next scene, you see Dumbledore talking to like the head of the Ministry of Magic, and being like, "Hey, we need to shut this shit down." And he's like, "I won't be seen as a coward." Man, I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
You won't be seen as a coward, so fuck these kids' safety, basically? That's like the one time in the entire movie that I was like, oh yeah, that's what you should be doing, Dumbledore, not being like, let's hold a dangerous tournament. And then even after Harry's name gets put in, he's like, oh, it's a binding contract. He has to compete. I was like,
right.
You're the headmaster and the one of the baddest magicians in the world, and you can't just be like, reverse time-o or whatever the fuck.
I'm sure he probably could.
Definitely.
There was a theory at this point before all the novels came out that Ron was actually Dumbledore and he was a time traveler.
Wait, what?
So I don't want to go into it too much.
No, I don't even want to. That sounds awful.
But because a lot of these things become so convoluted, it seems as if Dumbledore must know the future in order to put everybody in this much danger and know what the outcome is going to be positive. You know what I mean? He had to be a time traveler.
No, I just think Dumbledore was really good at chess. I think he was one of these and it's kind of cool in this. They show it in this movie where he's pulling memories out and like putting them in like a glass so he can see them better. Like he's like when you're like me, this helps you keep your memories kind of in order. Like no, the line is, I think when you're like me and you have and your mind is stretched. It's the wording that he chose to describe like how he is makes me think that that's a dude who thinks on multiple planes of existence. That's the kind of magician he is.
Yeah,
and I'm saying like. He's seeing 3 fucking steps ahead, so it may seem like he knows the future, but that's just a motherfucker who's really good at tactics.
Right. So Dumbledore,
maybe not just taking care of children, but taking care of kids well, but you know.
The actor who plays Dumbledore, I can't remember his name.
Which one? Not the one who died.
No, Dumbledore, the actor who plays Dumbledore.
Yeah, one of them.
Oh, not the first guy, the second guy.
Oh, okay.
He actually had never read any of the books.
Good for him.
No, not good for him, because there's that moment where he comes running out and he's like, Harry, Harry, and we talked about this in previous episodes. Did you put your name on the Goblet of Fire? And he like,
did we talk about these in previous episodes?
Oh yeah, it's like he's on cocaine. We talked about it. It's the title of an entire episode.
Oh.
Were you on cocaine that day? Maybe, possibly.
I don't do coke.
Anyways, in the book, he's supposed to come out really calmly and ask it, but the guy had never actually read the book.
I like this portrayal better.
Yeah, you do.
I do. Where like
Michael
the goblet,
Gambone.
Where the goblet like
That's
sparks up and shoots his name back out, and he catches it, and he's like, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Harry motherfucking Potter. I gotta call your name so many times, dog. You hear me calling you. I felt that. I was with him.
That's not the moment. I'm talking about later when he finds him. He vaults down a set of stairs.
And he starts shaking him violently.
Yeah.
Did you put your name out? Yeah, I was like, yeah.
Did you put your name into the Goblet of Fire, Harry? Dumbledore asked calmly.
Harry! I protest!
Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire?
I was like,
I mean,
that's the level of urgency that moment required for me. I was like,
it adds tension, but it makes you feel like Dumbledore doesn't know what he's doing in that moment.
would you?
No, but you just talked about how he's got multiple different things going on. He's saving his memories, downloading his memories into the pool of memory-ness.
Yeah, memory foam, right.
Can we talk about Robert Pattinson dropping out of a tree the first time we see him?
Everyone works with me at the Ministry. This strapping young lad must be Cedric, am I right?
Oh, that was awesome. I was like, what an entrance.
No answer.
I was like, that is an
No
actor.
explanation.
That's an actor who was like, can I jump out of a tree? And then he was like, whatever, bro.
Is he English, Robert Pattinson?
Yeah, he's English as fuck, bro.
Is he really?
Yeah.
So we're going to have an English The Batman?
Yes.
Robert Pattinson? Sorry. What about the port key, the boot port key?
Yeah, the boot was fine. I thought it was kind of a dickish that, like, they're all on the using the port key, and then their parents are like, "Let go," just to see them like fall. Like, that's
kind of a dick move.
Like, why would you do that? and then they come striding down like they didn't get the port key. It's like dick.
I think in general this movie's got a lot of testosterone.
Yeah, it really does.
It's like a pumped up.
It really does.
Pumped
like
up Harry Potter.
even Ron in this movie, I was like, what is your
Ron's
problem?
So lame in this movie,
I was
man.
like, what is your problem?
I wrote it down twice. Ron,
what's
lame.
your problem, bro? I was like, just ask her. You fucks with her, just ask her.
Yeah, that, and also like, how are you gonna be mad? That's like me.
And then you be mad, and then you're gonna be mad at her for it. I was like, bitch, fuck out of here.
Rob, your life is going to be in danger in the Triwizard Tournament. I'm mad at you for putting your name in. I'm not going to talk to you about it. I'm not going to believe you when you tell me that you didn't put your name in.
Dude, I didn't do it. I don't believe you. I'm just going to be angry for no reason. And then show up later and be like, no, I was helping you because I told that motherfucker who told that other motherfucker to tell you. I was like, what? What? No, man. Have some seats, Ron.
No, I did. No, don't you remember? I told Hermione to tell you that Seamus told me that Bavati told Dean that Hagrid was looking for you. Seamus never actually told me anything, so it was really me all along. I thought we'd be all right, you know, after you figured that out.
Who could possibly figure that out?
In the book, it's like they just look at each other and they forgive each other, which is such the man dude way to do it. Like,
that's how dudes do it.
All right,
like
we're cool.
Like I mean, I feel like that's one of the few things that men got right.
Yes,
we don't stay mad at each other for very long.
Let's talk about the three schools that come in here. Mm-hmm. There's Hogwarts. We know Hogwarts. Mm-hmm. They have no display of like badassery when these schools come in. They basically sing a song. Nerds. It's like a choir song. That's it. Let's not sing the song.
Like Hogwarts felt like the Cantina band from Star Wars.
Right.
To me. I was like, and then these motherfuckers come in, they're flipping and doing round offs, and then the pretty girls come in and they get the vibe going like some sort of step team thing. I was like, all right, okay.
Then we have the fawning French women, the Beauxbatons.
I dug that. I was like, I wish I were older. Because this would be more erotic if this was older.
In the book, both of these other schools are not made up entirely of men that look like Channing Tatum or entirely of like fawning women. They have a mix of races, or a mix of co-eds. Yeah. But apparently in the movie they thought, let's just make them. Because I remember watching this
and
and
an
like,
all-boys school and an all-girls school.
I mean, I remember thinking like, man, if you're in France or if you're in Russia, like, what do you do if you're like of the opposite sex and you do magic? Is there another school for you? But no, that's just one of the choices that Mike Newell, the director, made for the movie. The Dromstrangs, I mean, they're basically like
Russians.
They're Russians.
Yeah.
Victor Krum.
Yeah.
This is the first time I realized that the head of the school
was a Death Eater.
Yeah, it was a Death Eater. I never quite put it.
He's a snitch Death Eater. He's the dude who snitches.
Yeah, he's a snitch. Yeah.
I watched it this time and I was like, that should be a lesson to snitches. You snitch, you got to take care of kids. That's your punishment. You end up snitching, you got to be the head of a school.
Then we learn later Coming up next, the three. What are they? The unforgivable curses, or the unmentionable curses? The curses.
Yeah, the curses that you're not supposed. The taboo curses in the wizard world that you're not supposed to do.
The impervious curse. The
like Crucius.
The Crucioso curse.
All right.
And then the Avada Kedavra.
Avacadabra.
What I learned about that was that Rowling had... It's kind of a play on abracadabra.
Yeah. You didn't... Yeah.
Well, I knew that, but abracadabra means take it apart or dismantle it or something to that effect. Yeah.
Okay.
And avacadabra. I think it's avracadabra. Avada Kedavra.
It sounds like make a cadaver, basically.
Make this guy a cadaver. That's what I do. It's like that moment in Army of Darkness where he's like, Klaatu,
Baba,
there, I said it. I said the words.
Klaatu.
Hey, wait a minute. Everything's cool. I said the words. I did.
Yeah, well, he's a man.
I have a problem with Mad-Eye Mooney in this.
In what way? Because I did too, but I couldn't figure out why.
He's not Mad-Eye Mooney throughout the entire movie. He's Bartley.
Right.
Bartley Crouch Jr.
I guess that was one of my main questions. I was like, okay, so was Mad-Eye Mooney a guard at Azkaban? How did he get access to Mad-Eye Mooney? Because Crumb Jr. was a prisoner at Azkaban since he was found to be basically a conspirator for Voldemort.
Yes.
He's been in Azkaban all the time. So did Mad-Eye go see him to how did he get access to Moody?
I guess we never know. I mean, but my issue with Moody is that he's a really good teacher.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
that makes sense.
He's really good.
That actually made sense to me.
Yeah, and there's no moment where you're like, oh, this guy is crazy. I mean, he is a little dangerous and a little off the cuff, but no more than any of the other dark art teachers have been in the past.
You don't think you think the kids are the one who named him Mad-Eye Moody?
Good, yeah, exactly. Good point. The dude's already a little crazy.
Because it's Mad-Eye Moody, right?
Yes.
As in the motherfucker's eye is mad. And he got that apparently killing a Death Eater.
Yeah. And also when you take the Polyjuice potion, that creates false eyes?
No, see that's the thing. I think the eye was actually Mad-Eye's.
Yeah.
That thing is actually his, and it was an apparatus.
Right.
Because he has him in that little... off.
Right. Okay.
And then when you see Moody in the cell, basically, he's missing a leg, and he's holding his eye the whole time.
Good point. And he's in there just screaming the whole time.
You just be watching movies but not paying attention. What's going on?
I remember that now you say it out loud. There's a lot going on in these movies. There's a lot in this movie, which I appreciate.
There was a lot. But, there was...
Let's talk also about the
but him being I just want to go to the point of you saying him being a good teacher. Yeah. All that made sense to me.
Yes.
It made sense in the way that that character Crumb Jr. was basically grooming Harry to duel Voldemort when he got back.
Right.
That's basically what that is. He's
or set him up just to go meet Voldemort.
Well, not just setting him up to meet him, because I think what it was, it's he basically teaches him how to defend himself. In the because he's the defensive dark arts teacher.
Yeah.
He basically teaches him the curses that he would see.
Right.
And so one of the first things that Voldemort does when he sees Harry, he's like, "Oh, I'm sure Dumbledore taught you how to duel. We're dueling now."
And he's like, "Actually, no, your crony Bartley Crouch Jr. taught me how to do this."
Right.
And maybe if he had never taught him how to do that, Harry Potter just would have been dead right then.
That's my point. I think all of it was to make it so that the Dark Lord would have his formidable opponent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can get behind that. That's pretty cool.
That's how it made sense to me. Because the whole time I was like, why would he be... Because other than the fact that he needed to get him into the graveyard to meet him, I was like, why is he taking such good care of him in this way?
Right.
And that makes sense to me that he would... And you see it happen later on in some of these other movies where, Beatrix Potter or whatever, they don't kill him. Even when he... Harry's mastered some of this spell work, and he's coming after because she killed Sirius Black.
Yeah,
and he's coming after her or whatever, and she doesn't kill. Wait, I'm mixing up some of this, but basically, all of these Death Eaters, none of them they all have the opportunity to, or Snape does it too, but he's supposed to,
right?
Where they all protect him in this way and uplift him so that he can face him,
right? Face Voldemort, yeah. Because nobody wants to be the one who killed Harry Potter,
and then he's going to tell
Yeah, because he's going to have to go against Voldemort.
Except for Crumb Jr. after he gets away.
Yeah, I know. Like, that's why it's this weird thing. Like, what's going on here?
Well, that makes if you're tracking it makes a sense because he gets away from him in the graveyard.
Oh, okay.
And he's like, well, what won't he look at how he will throw honors on me if I get rid of you now?
Right.
Because I basically gift wrapped and hand wrapped him and gave you to him.
Still didn't do anything,
and he still didn't do it. So if I come back to Azkaban having killed you,
right?
Look at all the praise that I will get from it.
Good point. But my main issue with him playing Mad Eye is that we never actually learn who the real Mad Eye is.
Right.
Everything we learn about him is actually Bartley Crouch Jr.
Well, I mean, we know Mad Eye's history. Everything that happens in the movie, we
right. But we never. By the time we get Mad Eye, it's I think towards the last two movies, and then he dies.
Yeah.
So we never really learn who he is.
Potter, you're underage, which means you've still got the trace on you.
What's the trace?
If you sneeze, the Ministry will know who wipes your nose. The point is, we have to use those means of transport the trace can't detect. Brooms, thestrals, and the like. We'll go in pairs. That way, if anyone's out there waiting for us, and I reckon there will be, they won't know which Harry Potter is the real one.
The real one?
I believe you're familiar with this particular brew.
So is that good acting by what's his face?
Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. Yeah.
What's that actor's name?
I don't remember. But I mean,
Brendan Gleeson.
I feel like
he's awesome.
Can't not talk about David Tennant's scenery chewing, which I love him. I thought it was great.
David Tennant's scenery chewing. Who does David Tennant play?
He's Junior.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they don't give him enough.
Yeah.
Right. That actor.
Yeah.
What's his face from Jessica Jones?
Good
Omens.
Yeah.
Right.
You know him.
Like he's so good that like as I'm watching him play that character, I'm like, no, give me more of that guy.
Yeah.
I want to see some more of this guy.
Yeah. Hello, father.
Like he's basically there for like a 2-day shoot.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. He was like, where do you want me?
Yeah.
All right.
Do we get him? We get him in later movies.
No.
No.
He doesn't come back.
Oh, they catch him in this one, right, and throw him back into Azkaban. Yeah. Okay.
He doesn't come back.
That's
the last
too bad.
moment we see him. Alan Rickman has a fucking wand on his face.
Yeah.
He's like
pressed into his chin.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
David Tennant's a bad motherfucker.
Let's see what else I got here. Binding magical contract. Really? Why? Just because?
Yeah.
Why? Just because?
Yeah. And we already
Harry didn't put his name in there,
and we already established that someone cheated or befuddled the cup.
Right.
So you can't make an exception? Fuck out of here.
Not to mention now that Hogwarts has 2 players in the game.
Isn't that an unfair advantage? Shouldn't every school have then had another champion?
Yeah.
Be allowed one?
And you're telling me that Albus Dumbledore can't say, sorry, he can't do it.
He's 12.
Like the Goblet of Fire.
14.
The Goblet of Fire is so powerful that like even Dumbledore can't like null its binding magical contract.
Clearly not, because one, Junior hexes it to get Harry's name in it, and 2, he hexes it again to get him into the graveyard.
Right.
So it's apparently this magical object is not that hard to hack.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Yeah. Not to mention that the port key that they use, that lantern thing, they find it in the center of the maze.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They touch it, they go to the graveyard. If Harry Potter just left Cedric there, he'd probably be fine. So Harry Potter brings him, no, we'll touch it together at the same time and basically curse you.
Yeah. Like, honestly, if Harry Potter hadn't been so fucking altruistic...
That's true.
He'd be alive. Cedric Diggory would still be alive right now.
Oh, let's talk about the tasks real quick. So the first task, and this is when I was looking up these tasks online, I realized that they're actually separated by months apart.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That actually makes a little bit more sense.
And I don't know why they didn't. And I think in the movie you can see at some point
the passage of time.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But you don't know because it's a magical world. So if there's snow, you're just like, it's Hogwarts. There's snow one day and there's sun the next. You just don't know. But the first task...
But if you think about it like a school year, because each one of these movies has been a school year.
Yes.
So if you think about it like that, it would make sense as you're watching it. You're like, oh, there's got to be some sort of like time progression, because we go from the beginning of the year to the end of the year in each one of these movies, except for the Half-Blood Prince and the ones that we talked about later.
So but this is one of the. I mean, I've probably seen this movie 3 or 4 times. I never really latched on to the passage of time.
Me either.
Yes.
Me either. You're right. You're absolutely right. But it's interesting that I clock it. I do clock it at the beginning and the end.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's one of these like, oh, will you write to us? And they're like, yeah, sure, I'll write. No, I'm not going to write. And you're like, oh, shit, it's the end of the year. And at the top of it, you see them like on coming back from summer break and like World Cup Quidditch shit. And then, so I think that's a testament to how good these movies are, because you don't notice that time is passing because you're invested in how one thing leads to the other.
Right. Their hair also doesn't grow at all. There's no real...
Or maybe they get their hair cut between...
between scenes,
scenes.
I would love to see a magical haircut. That'd be cool as shit. Maybe. Or maybe they just use their wands.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like you wake up, you're like, same as yesterday, oh.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have to shave yet.
Ron definitely has. That motherfucker Ron's been shaving.
He's been shaving.
He's been shaving.
Because he's Dumbledore from the future. So, first task, November 24th, they have to go up against these crazy dragons. I like that. I feel like...
It's the best scene in the movie.
It is. And it's the first task. And the other two tasks that follow are kind of like... Wah, wah.
Yeah.
You know, this one...
Go underwater and get something you've lost. Sure.
It's a great, like, set piece, though.
Yeah.
And he kills... The dragon dies.
We think.
No, and one of them, Ron's brother, says, "You slayed the dragon." I mean, it could be hyperbole.
Yeah.
I like to believe...
fucking Ron. It's the Weasley brothers. Those dudes are staying hyperbole.
Yeah, they're like, "Well done, dragon."
I don't think anybody died. Okay, question. Up until this point, students have died.
They've been turned to stone.
But then they got fixed. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think anybody's died. And that's why I think...
and this is why.
This is why I think J.K. Rowling was really smart with this, because she gets you to like Cedric, but you don't really learn too much about who he is. Mm-hmm. You just know that he's like this nice, beautiful dude.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good dude. But you don't... And so he can take the place of, oh my gosh, what if that had been Harry Potter, a character who we actually do care a lot about.
Yeah. No, it definitely worked.
Yeah.
It definitely worked. And the casting of this movie was great.
I agree. The casting in all these movies is good.
Yeah.
They pull from a lot of like hardcore British actors.
Yeah.
David Thewlis in the Prisoner of Azkaban. Yeah. Gary Oldman.
I mean, we've already talked about David Tennant.
Yeah.
Your man
Donald Gleason.
Yeah. Like everybody that they plug into the. It's Tim Roth. Is that Tim? That's Tim Roth.
No,
right?
no, that's Tim Roth.
Oh, not Tim Roth. What the fuck am I saying?
I bet Tim Roth is in one of these movies. I just can't think about it right now.
Not Tim Roth, but what the fuck is my man?
Unless you sit there till I can remember
what's his face.
Jabba-doo. Don't make me look it up.
Not Rupert. Why do I want to say Rupert?
This is harder than you think. If you're listening, you know the answer right off the top of your head.
Anyway, but my man is Voldemort. He kills.
Yeah, and this is the first time you get to see really Voldemort in the flesh.
Yeah. Well, that formation scene, like the moment that they show up in the graveyard, this movie turns up. It turns up.
Timothy Spall as Wormtail.
Yeah, Wormtail is like. That like the moment like they touch their port key and show up in the graveyard, this movie turns up a bunch. It's like do it, and he throws him in, and he's like, what is it? Bone. Like the spell. The spell is like the bone from the father unwillingly taken, or some kind. Like all of that shit was dope.
Ralph Fiennes. There we go.
Rafe, my man Rafe. Why was I gonna say Rupert?
But wasn't there a moment when you kind of knew the Voldemort look was working when you were on set, and you met her?
Yeah, I passed by the script supervisor. Had a little boy. He was on set.
His son, maybe.
Her son, I think, for 5 years old. Anyway, I passed by this little child. I just looked at this boy. He just burst into tears.
Miranda Richardson.
Yeah,
as Rita Skeeter.
Yeah,
she's an animagus. She can turn into a beetle.
Yeah,
I learned for research of this. Yeah,
that's dope.
So we don't really get to see the other contestants fight the dragon, which they're dragons, which would have been cool.
That would have been, but it's not about them. It's about Harry.
It's true.
And his dragon was the beast. So his dragon.
He got the worst. He got the Hungarian horntail.
So yeah.
The second task. The Mer people have taken something that they'll be sorely missed. So for Victor Crumb, it's Hermione, who we just met a day earlier.
Yeah, because he's a Mac, bro.
Sorely
don't discount the Macs.
Jerking off to that Hermione thing.
Hey, she said yes.
How old are they supposed to be in this movie?
14.
14. I do like when Ron. That moment where she's like, she gets really pissed and she's like, well, next time you should ask me out. Yeah, because I think it was a really nice subtextual understanding of exactly what was going on.
Yeah, it's like like I said, this was one of the movies that made these guys interesting. I was like, oh wait, all of this is relevant now because you guys are fledgling adults right now. This is starting to get steamy.
Yeah,
I think this is also the first movie that we see that Harry might have a card to play. The Asian actress who becomes
Ginny Cho.
Yeah. I think that's the first time we kind of see them kind of eyeballing each other up a little bit.
She was in both her and Victor Crumb were nobodies that basically, like, Mike Newell and some of the casting directors, no, they saw them and said, you need to come audition.
Oh.
Victor Crumb blew it off and was like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And they found him again and said,
shit.
please, come audition. Please. And they basically gave it. Like, where are these guys in our life?
I'm saying, like, what? Well,
there's a perfect role for everybody on this planet.
I scare people.
You excite people.
Yeah, not in the way that I need them to be excited.
Excite lots of men.
Yeah.
Lots of men everywhere, Rob.
Yeah, no, that's always the bridesmaid, never the bride.
The second task takes place February 24th. This is the one with the underwater mer people and yada, yada, yada. My question, though, is... So... You know, she says, what's her face? Fleur Belbaton says, basically, you saved her. You saved my little sister.
Yeah, what was that about? Did she just not do this task?
She did. Remember, she kind of drowned and got sent back up. My question is not that, though, why she didn't save her. My question is, what happens if Harry had just basically taken the person that he was going to save, Ginny Cho, and took her to the surface?
Her sister would have died, I'm assuming.
That's crazy. That's like some crazy collateral damage. Like, who signs up for that?
Apparently, the 17-year-old wizard does. Bang. I love the Wizarding World. You weed out the weak right now, bro.
There, Mrs.
If you're not strong, you losing a sibling. That's what's going down right now.
There, Mr. and Mrs. Flo Bambaton. Sorry so much, but your daughter died. She was not participating in the tournament, but she basically, we pulled her underwater.
You know how it is. It's the Wizarding World. You know how it is. Player.
But did he really say
stamp?
I don't know.
Ow.
I think that's
stamp out.
It's a little too much for me.
Dude, are you kidding? Look, Harry Potter is an orphan who lives under the stairs, and his guardians basically throw him away to a wizarding school. They're like, "Great, yeah, go ahead. We don't give a fuck."
Well, listen, we can get into like the most what the fuck things that Dumbledore has ever done off of this.
We're not talking about Dumbledore. We know that Dumbledore's crazy, but he's also really a G. And that's not his responsibility because he's not technically. Is he Harry's guardian? Does he become Harry's guardian? Is that what happens?
He's the one who leaves Harry on that doorstep. And just basically, like, instead of, like, knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, and running away.
They'll find him.
They'll find him.
I mean, it's England. They got to get milk.
He'll be okay.
Yeah, the milkman will be around sometime. They'll come out for the
I'm
milk.
going to read through some Dumbledore what the fucks real quick, okay? He doesn't remove the jinx from the dark arts professor position. There's a jinx on it, basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He places multiple death traps on the third floor of the school, which we see in like I think that's the first movie, right? With like the crazy chess set. He only uses names of candies as passwords for his office.
I love that.
In the book, I think Harry Potter guesses on one of them. He keeps the Whomping Willow after Lupin graduated. The idea of the willow was like you could go through it and then he could go to like his little shack and become a werewolf. But he keeps it there, even though it's like this crazy freaking dangerous tree. He lets Gryffindor, for the most part, win the House Cup every year.
Was he a Gryffindor? When he was in school, was he a Gryffindor guy?
Doesn't matter. If you're one of the other... If you're like one of the other classes, you're like, well, why are we even going to try? Because apparently Gryffindor is going to win again. Even the worst moment is I think...
Don't be mad because Harry showed up and they went on a streak, all right?
Well, it's like the second year. They're like, Slytherin thinks they won, and all of a sudden Dumbledore's like, and by the way, here's some
2 extra points!
Exactly.
Look under your chair! Yeah, he Oprahs the shit out of those motherfuckers.
He has a Coke moment with Harry about the putting the name in the
Are you holding me?
He doesn't close the school when the basilisk is on the loose.
That's true. Yeah, he definitely should have did that shit. He definitely should have did that shit. You got a giant fucking snake rolling around campus, and you don't even be like, yeah, we got to get an exterminator, get a magical exterminator in this motherfucker.
You guys go home for a week, just come back. We'll go have this taken care of.
You don't even need a whole week. You got to get a magical exterminator in there in 3 days.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We'll be back to this. Take a field trip.
Right. I mean...
Go to, where do they go? The Diagon Alley? Go to Diagon Alley for a weekend. We'll put you up in a little hotel, a little
that
hostel.
place which is clearly just diagonal. Diagonally.
He only leaves a letter for Petunia Dursley, which is Harry Potter's aunt, right? So he never clearly explains the situation.
You mean after he drops him off as a baby?
Yeah. He only leaves a pretty vague letter.
Really?
Yeah. He never goes there and says, okay, there's a situation.
But, I mean, you could in the letter be like, hey, this is your nephew. Don't dick him over. Take your sister's kid.
Yeah.
Don't eat. None of that was included in the letter?
Apparently not. Apparently not.
Okay, I mean, you can indict him for some of that shit, but you can't indict a man for just not being informative in a letter.
Oh, come on.
Can you?
Yeah, you can. You really can. You can have tea. You can have a lunch. You can sit around and be like, hey, guess what? Here's what went down.
Yo,
some dude tried to kill his kid.
You're the head of a magical school, one of the best magical school in the magical world. You're arguably the best magical wizard in the wizarding world. I mean, you're busy, bro.
Well, that's
time.
Well, that's another what the fuck. Why doesn't Dumbledore just raise him or get some magical people to raise him? Why does he give him to the frickin' Dursleys?
Because he was safer in the world of the Muggles because nobody knew him there. I mean, if Dumbledore had taken him in and started raising him as his own, they'd be like, yo, you know, what they call him? The kid who lived. You know, there's no anonymity for a motherfucker like that, especially when I think your boy Dumbledore knew that Voldemort wasn't actually destroyed, so he's like, yo, the best thing to do is keep this motherfucker as far away from all this shit as possible. But when the shit gets
being raised by some crazy ass people under the stairs,
but they didn't know they were going to treat him like shit.
All we know is everything.
They didn't know that, you know, his aunt ostensibly was going to be a bitch.
I got a few more. He hires Gilderoy Lockhart. Gilderoy Lockhart's the Kenneth Branagh from the second movie.
Oh, right. The fraud.
Yeah, he hires the fraud basically and just says, yeah, it's cool. This would be hilarious.
Kenneth Branagh was in these movies. Holy shit.
Exactly. He never stopped Snape from verbally abusing all of his students.
Why would he? Some of the best teachers I know verbally abuse me.
He requires parental consent to go to Hogsmeade, but not to participate in Quidditch.
Well,
easily one of the most dangerous sports ever. Talking about are you talking about football?
That motherfucker did break his arm.
That shit was hanging there.
Like it was rubber.
He locked Sirius in a house where he'd been abused for years.
True.
He allows the Forbidden Forest to be used as a detention location. You see those spiders? There's like centaurs and shit. What the fuck?
So the man had some Michael Vick type issues. Look,
he either doesn't know or care about Voldemort on the back of Quirrell's head from the first movie. Almost done here.
Probably doesn't know. My argument, he did know that shit.
He allows Harry to suffer from under the Dursleys. He doesn't prep for Harry for the fact that he would die.
Well, does he allow? I mean,
I'm talking about Albus that die. He doesn't go to Harry and say, "Hey, guess what? I gotta die here. It's a thing that's gonna happen. I've been cursed by this ring." This is book mixing with the movie. We talked about this with Half-Blood Prince, right?
Yeah, we did.
But he doesn't prep anybody.
Are you gonna would you tell your kid, "Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead. I might go ahead and kick off here."
Yeah.
You
By
tell
the way,
him?
I've been cursed for the past couple of years with this ring that's slowly overtaken me. I'm going to have to die. Here's all the things you need to prep. Here's an Excel sheet for all the things you need to do. Here's where all the Horcruxes are. By the way, here's what the
codes to the
Horcruxes
safe.
Yeah.
Here. My plants need to be watered in this schedule.
Yes. All those things.
Take care of that Phoenix. He likes to poop indoors. Don't let him.
He essentially lets people die so he doesn't have to fight Grindelwald.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. You talk about him in young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is going into the other movies. And the biggest, craziest
So
thing.
why does he get the job? If he's
Harry,
this much of a fuck up, why does he get the job as the headmaster and all-time badass wizard of the world? Why does he get the job? Because everything that you're describing you're right.
I think nobody else is as good as he is, which would have been even worse.
That sounds horrible.
What about McGonagall, Minerva?
Well, I mean, you might be right. I mean, if he's the best they have to offer, because your man Newt was
Salamander. Can you imagine him as the headmaster?
Yeah, it'd be chaos. I mean, be insane.
Yeah,
but so. I mean, basically, it's gonna be either Dumbledore or your man Grindelwald. Now, who you gonna pick? Who you gonna pick?
I'm just saying.
I think we're lucky that Harry made it as far as he. I think we're lucky that Dumbledore was able to even be like, here, look, let me just put you on the doorstep of somebody that will kind of take care of you. I mean,
it's almost like somebody was writing these out and didn't know exactly where they were going, and was sort of figuring it out as they went.
Isn't that all writing? I mean, as the resident writer in the room, isn't? isn't that the process? I mean, speak a little about the process, motherfucker.
It is. I think the film. I think obviously the book versions handle all this stuff better. I think the film versions, a lot of this stuff is much more obvious. Like, what the fuck? But
there was a couple times I thought that the French lady, the French girl from the French school, I thought she died a bunch of times in this movie, or she was ineffectual. Like the scene of they all run into the maze, and then the very next shot of you see is her running through the maze, distraught as shit. I was like, aren't you supposed to be like a badass wizard? You lost 2 of these trials, and they still let you compete.
She didn't have one good moment,
not like at all. I was like, yo. I mean, unless she must have beat her dragon's ass. I mean, like. We don't like the next time you see her, she fails in the next challenge, which I thought would have been like, oh, you don't get to do the last challenge because clearly you didn't do this one.
Yeah.
And all they did was like, oh no, you just get to go in later. You just get to go into the maze later. It's fine.
If I was a fan of these books and I was French and I was female, I'd be pissed.
A little bit.
I'd be like, what the fuck?
I was like, Joan of Arc led the army when she was 16.
Exactly.
Flip a table.
Move it over. Last question before we move on to what else you've been into this week. Does Ron get a hand job?
From?
Well, I don't know. Who's Ron? Or not Ron, excuse me. Neville. Does Neville get a hand job?
Neville. No.
He comes in, he's all happy.
Yeah,
like,
I don't think he gets a hand job. I think he gets the second base. He gets some over the clothes action.
He gets the,
But no
hand job.
He has never even seen it at that point. He's wearing his shoes over his shoulder, bro.
He's so happy. He's so happy.
No. He got a little over the clothes like friction accent. He gonna go do some magical like salve for the burns.
No, he's a botanist. He's gonna make some like
he's gonna crush some leaves and rub some
put
salve.
Some gillyweed.
Magical ointment.
He's so cute though. He was like,
yeah, he's the man.
I got it.
I was like, yo, Neville, have some fucking look. You gonna be running the game here in a minute,
it's
Neville.
True.
You gonna be running the game, bro.
Very
Just
true.
Believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself.
Where's somebody around to be like, Neville, you got this, pimp? You got this.
Everybody, every audience member is going for Neville.
Well, I think you start to now. I think up until this point, you're like, all right, you bucktooth weirdo.
That's true.
You bucktooth sad ass weirdo. Because when Neville shows up, he's basically real sad. His parents have been murdered. We find out in this movie by the motherfucker impersonating Mad Eye Moody.
Yep.
So you understand a little bit. You're like, so when you see him like coming in, like, yo, I got some over the clothes action, Harry. You good, fam? You good?
So
you're like, yeah, Neville. Yeah, I'm good, man. You good? He's like,
but Harry can't even enjoy it.
Well, Harry was having a nightmare, and then you wake up, you see the motherfucker stand over your bed. I'd have slapped him. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, Neville? Dog,
get out of here, man.
What are you doing, son?
Damn.
He's like, man, I just got back. I was just getting in, man. Why you hit me so hard? Why you hit me so hard, Harry?
You're fucking creeping over my bed like a weirdo.
Yeah, but no, Half-Blood Prince is my favorite. I
think this is my favorite.
This is my second, probably.
This one or Prisoner of Azkaban, the combined two.
I love Prisoner of Azkaban for a lot of reasons, but yeah, I think if I had to do them in order, like gold, silver, bronze, I think Half-Blood Prince, Prisoner of Azkaban, and then this.
Yeah. It's definitely like I think the 3 strongest.
Yeah,
I like the Deathly Hallows ones quite a bit.
Deathly Hallows ones are fine. They're all,
but they're definitely
they're
end of their end game.
They're end games.
Just in the same way, like Avengers Endgame is not necessarily my favorite Avengers movie, even though it's really good. Yeah,
same.
All right.
What else were you into this week, man? You can go first.
I don't think anything. I mean, I've been catching up on Castle Rock. We did Watchmen.
Anything?
Castle Rock is really good, but again, I think Watchmen, Castle Rock.
So those are your
they're
in
good,
rotation.
but I'm just running out the clock now. Let's just get them.
Those are your in rotation ones.
Yeah, I mean the Mandalorian the episode 3.
All right, I'll get to it. I saw the second episode and I was like,
you didn't like it any better?
I didn't, and this is why I think I figured out why. It's because when you introduce a character like a baby, especially a baby, you already know that.
Well, it's 50 years old, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
No, yeah. Okay, regardless of how old it's a baby.
Right.
And whenever you introduce a baby into a story like this, it's never going to be about the title character, which is the Mandalorian.
Right.
It's going to be about this fucking baby the whole way through.
Yes.
And I think that doesn't serve. It should be about the Mandalorian. And the only thing that we've gotten so far about the Mandalorian is that, one, there was some sort of trauma in his past where we think it was him as a young kid watching his people being slaughtered.
Exactly. And you find out more of that into this third episode. And I don't want to give too much away, because if you're listening, maybe you haven't watched it yet, but you probably watched it by this point, by Thanksgiving. So I mean, you really, in the third episode, gives you a lot, not a lot, but a little more about the Mandalorian history. You get the sense that all the Mandalorians are sort of in hiding, that they only kind of go out of that little cellar basement one at a time, so that their real true numbers aren't known. The Empire is completely screwed over this group of people. The bigger implications that I have, that I'm a little worried about, it's the theory is that this baby Yoda may in fact actually be a clone of Yoda. Right, eye roll. And
okay.
that this gives them an excuse for the next 850 years to have a Yoda character alive in the Star Wars universe. If it's Yoda himself, that's kind of annoying to me. He may not have the memories of Yoda. I guess it doesn't make any difference whether it's Yoda or not Yoda, because they don't have the same memories. But it's still it worries me, because I'm like, let's move away from this Skywalker saga completely. Let's do something completely new.
And that's my point.
Yeah,
I think that's what I got from the initial. I was like, I don't know.
But this third episode still reiterated, this is the dark TV show. You see multiple stormtroopers killed in much more violent ways than you've ever seen them killed in any of the other Star Wars.
Okay.
So I think your argument that it's... I understand that it's more the child aspect of it that you want to move away from, that makes it kind of saccharine and kiddie. This is actually maybe the most adult Star Wars that we've gotten to this point, violence-wise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see. I was into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I was into 9 things this week. 3 of them I can sum up together because they were sort of a block of things that I was into. The Grandmaster. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
The Disciples of the 36 Chambers, and Shaolin versus Wu-Tang.
These are all kung fu movies.
These are all kung fu movies.
Cool.
These are all kickouts. They kind of range. The Grandmaster is probably the most recent, and I watched that one first, and it sort of got me the gears grinding for looking at these things over the course of time. So that led me to watching The Disciples of 36 Chambers, which had Gordon Liu in it. And Gordon Liu is the fucking man when it comes to these side of things. So that led me to Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, which Gordon directed and started. They're all really great choreographed fights. Like some of the ones that they do for Shaolin versus Wu-Tang are fucking insane. And they do wire work, but this is like early wire work. And by the time we get to the Grandmaster, which is the most recent one, the wire work is phenomenal, the camera work is phenomenal, and the Grandmaster is actually based on a real story. It's an Ip Man story. Ip Man I've spoken about on this podcast before.
Right.
Teacher to Bruce Lee. And
which of these 3 would you recommend watching over the other 2?
Oh, wow. You want me to pick one?
Yeah.
I would pick the Grandmaster because it's the most recent, and it's sort of the culmination. If you go back and you watch the other ones I mentioned on this list, you will see where the Grandmaster has taken those early things and have gone to the full extent that they can make it. It is.
Is it on Netflix?
What's it on? It's on Netflix.
Cool.
His name is Ip Man. Before he trained legends, he had to become one. This August, the Grandmaster will be revealed.
It's an Ip Man story. It's great because it's great for a number of reasons. It's sort of a culmination of.
It's Wong Kar-wai directed this.
You say that like that's that.
I mean, yeah, he's done a ton of stuff. Anyways, keep going. Chungking Express is one of his movies.
It's one of the best kung fu movies in recent years for a lot of reasons. They show you a lot of different kung fu styles. It's based in historical, it's historical fiction for lack of a better term, and it's a little heightened.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this one because he also did the movie 2046, In the Mood for Love, Happy Together, Fallen Angels. He's a big time director.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, it shows. This movie is incredible.
Right.
Incredibly shot, incredibly nuanced, and beautiful. It's beautiful. So Grandmaster. The Rick and Morty, I'm gonna go quickly here. Rick and Morty season 4, I started. Or season 3, 4.
The newest one.
The newest one, the most recent.
I don't watch it, but I think it's season 4.
I think it's 4.
I am gonna watch them. So just calm down, everybody who's listening.
It's brilliant.
I understand it's brilliant. Gonna get into it.
I caught the first two episodes of the season. It's right on par. It's still on par with the previous ones. It's smart. It's entertaining, and it's a little what's really great about this series is that it's so outlandish and so off the cuff, but almost regularly they'll hit you with something that's legit and real, and you'll be like, whoa, wasn't expecting to get the feels from something like this.
Yeah, so they have 2 episodes out so far, I think.
2.
And the 3rd episode comes out Sunday.
Yeah.
So by the time you're listening to this, it probably has already come out. Yeah. How are you watching that? What channel is that on?
Cody.
It's Adult Swim, Cartoon Network.
If you have Adult Swim, if you have cable, it's on Adult Swim.
Got it.
The Good Place season 4.
Yeah.
Watch that. Sat down and watched that. I really love that show for the same reasons I like Rick and Morty. It's really smart writing. The comedy is legit, and it's interwoven with philosophy, actual real world contemporary philosophy. If you watch the show from start to finish, I felt like you would find yourself wanting to know more about philosophy in a way that's tangible and legit.
This is on Hulu and Netflix and NBC. Yeah, it's funny because my wife loves this show. You love this show. Everybody I've talked to really likes this show. I you know what I think it is? I think the image that this show provides me with, which is just right now people sitting on a couch, all looking at it, just looks so bright and colorful and lively and happy, and it makes me feel like that's not a show I want to watch, even though everybody's told me it is a show that I will like all of those things.
And here's the thing: that bright, that's subversive.
Yes.
It's
so I need to get over that feeling and just start.
Because it's not that.
Yeah, because
it is that, but it's that because you will come to realize, you're like, okay, dude. Just sit down and watch the first 3 episodes, and if you're not hooked by the first 15 minutes of the first one,
right?
Yeah, you won't be.
Okay.
And I think you will. I think you'll be like, oh, because I felt the same way.
Yeah.
Before sitting down to actually watch it, I was like, yeah, man, I don't think this looks like something I would.
It looks like a sitcom.
Yeah, it's not
exactly. Okay,
it's not. It's really smart writing. Let me see. There was this particular thing I was into this week actually might be the most. It was probably the best thing that I was into this week for a number of reasons. It made me start thinking about my life. It made me start thinking about the future.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Shit. I don't want to watch this.
It's a documentary called The Game Changers.
Oh, no.
And it's mostly it's about diet. It's about basically this MMA fighter blew out both his knees and couldn't fight for a while, and then he started to look for ways to get back in the fight game, and he basically starts researching nutrition and things
this is
like
James
that.
Wilkes.
Yeah.
He travels the world on a quest for the truth about meat, protein, and strength.
Right.
And did they feature Arnold Schwarzenegger in this? Okay, so I've seen this on Netflix, right? Yeah. And I've seen the preview because it's Arnold coming out and be like, I tried all these different ways. I don't know why he has that accent.
Why do you sound Italian?
He says, I tried all these different ways.
I was like, that's not Arnold.
Tried all these different ways to gain protein and muscle. And
that's Sylvester Stallone. You're doing Stallone.
Anyways.
But no, yeah, and actually I think Arnie is an executive producer on the documentary.
Yeah. So what's he eat instead of meat?
It's basically proposing vegetarianism.
Yeah, which we need to go to as a world.
It was one of the first times I actually sat down and I was like, yo, it might be the move right now. I'm actually,
it's gonna have to be.
I started to, after watching it this week, I started to think about my meals for the rest of the week and try to incorporate less, animal protein and more, or try to. And I already can tell you, for me, it's going to be fucking almost impossible because it's expensive, especially where I live. But just the fact that I'm actually trying to make the effort to do it is a testament to me to how good that documentary was.
I had this thought back when we were talking about Thanksgiving that 10 years from now, we may not be able to get all of these things that we want. We may not be able to get a turkey. We may not be able to get the vegetables that we need for Thanksgiving. Like, it'll be a real, like, oh, what can we get? Let's make that.
Right.
Which, in a way, feels much more true to Thanksgiving than just having every option at your disposal and then throwing half of it away a week later when you clean out your fridge. But that would be very interesting.
To try to do it that way?
To try to do it, yeah. Or just being like, we get turkey once a year. How special would meat be if we got meat once a year or twice a year, and that was it?
Just sort of like from the facts and figures that they were presenting, like all of us, like it all lines up to be like, yo, this is the move that we should be making. So I'm gonna actively try to start making that move.
Right.
The last two things I was into, I'm gonna recommend one for general. I recommend them both. But I'm gonna recommend one for general consumption and one for if you're into a little bit more risque kind of subject matter and don't mind. Like, basically, I don't think Mom and Dad would get down on the second choice that I'm gonna put out here.
What's the first choice?
The first choice is The Laundromat.
The Laundromat.
It stars Oldman, Streep. Gary Oldman? Yeah, Oldman, Streep, and Banderas. It's on Netflix. Called The Laundromat, and it's a Hollywoodized account of actual things that happened, and for this, it's basically about shell companies.
Oh,
and Banderas and Ullman play the title characters of
this is Steven Soderbergh's.
Soderbergh's joint.
September 2019.
It's incredible.
Came out. Yeah, okay. I remember seeing a preview for this and it vanished. And Netflix has never, the algorithm's never thrown it at me.
They've been throwing it in my face for the last 3 weeks, and I finally sat down and watched it. It's fucking brilliant. I didn't know that this event had even taken place. I didn't know who these people were. Mm-hmm. I didn't know all that. I didn't know that Delaware was originally like the first place that you could do a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, basically tax evasion.
Yeah.
It's
because it's so small.
And what they did to garner, what they did to have corporations come in is they made all these laws that basically allowed, it's basically like
tax evasion.
Yeah, tax evasion. Like most of the places where you can like hide money, it's usually an island, someplace really tiny where they don't have a lot of infrastructure and where you can't, go and check up. And so Meryl Streep's character is one of these people who has this tragic thing happen, and then she actually does due diligence and goes and checks up.
Oh, you had me at Meryl Streep. I mean, basically like Meryl Streep. Gary Oldman, come on, I'm there.
Yeah, it's fucking brilliant. It's really well done. I didn't know it was Soderbergh until the very last moment too.
Oh yeah,
like you see his name like directed by. I was like, oh shit, this is Soderbergh.
Yeah, no wonder I liked it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the last thing I was into this week, which I think I recommend for everyone, but I don't think it's for general consumption, is Black Jesus.
Black Jesus.
This fourth season of Black Jesus.
You mean just Jesus?
No.
Just Jesus?
No.
Because he's black.
Black Jesus.
Black Jesus.
It's Aaron McGruder's other show. If you don't know who Aaron McGruder is, kill yourself. Creator of
McGruder. Mike Clattenburg,
the creator of Boondocks comic strip and the cartoon TV show. Is this
the third season or the second season?
I'm pretty sure this is the fourth season.
Third
season.
Yeah, no,
what did I write down?
22 episodes, season 3.
It's the third coming of Christ.
What's happening, young pimp?
And everyone wants it.
His fine, tall ass. Like a bitch want to get her life together.
He's bringing the good news.
We the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. And you know this, pimp. Hallelujah. You've been served. What kind of bullshit is this?
Black Jesus Season 3. Premiere September 20th at midnight. Only on Adult Swim.
Go, Jesus. It's your birthday.
It is not this birthday.
So 2 things you should know about this show. It's funny, it's brilliant, it's black as fuck, and it was Charlie Murphy's last show, and it was John Witherspoon's last show.
Ooh.
So
this is another Adult Swim Cartoon Network show. Yeah.
Yes. It's fucking amazing.
Why do you think my parents wouldn't be into this? They'd be so into this.
I mean, some of the subject, some of what they... And some of how they talk, and
we just talked about Neville Longbottom getting a hand job.
Yeah, but not the way these motherfuckers talk.
Okay,
they talk like the way I talk all the time
My parents love the way you talk all the time.
Yeah, but not. I mean, all the time when they're like. When there's other black people around.
Oh, I see. What are you talking about? You talk differently?
Yeah, I do. I definitely talk a lot differently. And if you watch this show, it'll give you an informant a little bit on how differently. I talk a lot like these motherfuckers.
I had a conversation with my wife about code changing that we'll have to shelve for a different time.
Oh, well, I want to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go pick up the girls and you can tell me as we walk.
But we do have one comment.
Comments! Oh, we do?
Yes, one comment from Jonathan Bodile. He says, comments that aren't going to be read on air because you think you are better than your listeners.
What?
So
Whoa!
I wanted to squeeze it in.
I feel attacked, Jonathan.
So we'll just keep my kids waiting while we
I
read
feel attacked,
this incredibly important comment from Jonathan Bodile. It goes, I can confirm that Liz Vital was the first woman to say that I look like Emilio Estevez and would yell, Emilio! All a Night at the Roxbury when I would first walk into the room. Is that a Night at the Roxbury reference? I guess I never knew that.
Yeah, I guess it must be.
Upon further conversation with Liz, I confirmed that she was referring to the Breakfast Club Emilio Estevez and not the Mighty Ducks.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Which would have been a big blow to my ego. Why? Mighty Ducks is awesome.
Yeah, I love Mighty Ducks Emilio Estevez. He's a little bloated, a little coke ridden.
Right.
A little, but yeah.
I did watch Loaded Weapon with him in it too. It was great.
Did I tell you it was
really
great?
good, yeah.
I told you,
So
bro.
good. I forgot
told
that one.
you. Did you see everybody who was in it? Charlie was in it. Denise Richards was in it.
Oh yeah, everyone.
I was like, what the fuck?
Do yourself a favor. Watch Loaded Weapon on Netflix. It's fantastic.
I already told y'all that. I told y'all that shit last week. It was brilliant.
This resemblance to Emilio Estevez, as well as Prince William, Bo does look like Prince William.
Yeah, a little bit.
Would be repeated by a number of friends throughout my 20s until I lost my hair. Sad face. I also just finished The Last of Us and really liked it. I'll probably go to Witcher 3 next.
Just finished The Last of Us?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Remember, because we recommended it to him.
But I mean, Bo's had a fucking PlayStation for a hot second.
Yeah, but he's a lawyer and he's got kids, and he was off the game for a while.
My bad, B. My bad. I forget sometimes, bro.
He says, I'll probably go to Witcher 3 next, but am open to recommendations.
Ooh.
My only complaint
Has he done God of War yet?
I recommended that to him in a text message.
Bo, go do God of War.
My only complaint with The Last of Us was it was too short and that the gameplay was too easy.
What?
Yeah, you had to bump it up.
Did you not turn the difficulty
No,
up?
he doesn't. He didn't do that. I was gonna say that in the text, but like if you bump the difficulty up one notch, it gets much harder and it becomes a much more interesting game.
Before I forget, I was into Star Wars games.
Yes,
Fall Order.
You get 30 seconds.
It's one of the best Star Wars stories that I've played in a long time, and all I'm going to say is they saved one of the best. I mean, if all the stuff that happens in this game is canon, they saved one of the best canon moments for fucking the last section of this game, and it's brilliant.
I don't want to say it because I think I saw it accidentally as a spoiler.
You did, didn't you? You went and saw Did you?
No, I didn't watch it, but I saw this little somebody talking about it and just popped up. You know what it was? It was like when you're on YouTube and you see a video and it says blah 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 blah. And you're like, oh no, I don't.
You're like, oh, now it's in the zeitgeist. Now I know what I can extrapolate what that happened. Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense where it's going because that's where they've done with like a lot of these things.
Holy shit! Bro.
So did you finish it?
Oh yeah, I finished it, but I finished the story, but there's still some things that I have to mop up. Like I'm one of these weird kind of completionist guys. I gotta fill out some of the.
So you're gonna bring it for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, you'll get it. Relax, motherfucker. You'll get it.
Thanksgiving?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, maybe.
Okay. So he says both games. He's talking about Last of Us and what's the other game he's talking about? Both games I have played this year, Horizon Zero Dawn and Last of Us, have been surprisingly easy, especially the final boss battle.
Really?
So I'll probably start upping the difficulty level again. I think you have to because guys like me and you and my brother, we've been playing games for 30 years.
You're saying what I was going to say.
35 years. Yeah. Like we got.
But you always got to turn the difficulty up, bro. Yeah. You're going to run through them.
Yeah.
That's a standard move I do now. Like, and actually, I feel like when I give you this game, I think you should turn it up 2 notches.
I think I might because I'm a lot better at the Dark Souls games.
Yes, these games are your wheelhouse, and I turned up the difficulty right off the bat and ended up. I found my way through it. Although I got it in the early stages of this game, I would say that if it wasn't that it was a Star Wars game,
right,
I would have been like, "Fuck this game, I'm done."
Yeah, he says it's weird how easy it is to fall back into video game skills. Up until this year, I hadn't played video games in literally 6 years when Scarlett, his youngest daughter, was born. And it probably took me about an hour and a half to get the reflexes back up to speed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's muscle memory. Like anything that you trained your muscles to do for any length of time,
right?
No matter how long you step away from it, your muscles will instantly remember that. Like that's why I play basketball still decently. I'm a pretty decent runner. Football, all that stuff, your muscles never leave it, especially if you're keeping it sharp.
Right. And this is why I started my kids off playing games, because basically, like, if they don't learn now, they'll be like my wife, who never played video games and has no interest in it, because whenever she picks up that crazy controller, think how crazy that controller is. It's got like 16 buttons on it.
Right.
That's like, it just blows her mind, the idea of trying to, and she can't orient the camera work in the right way. She can't move the character and the camera at the same time.
Right.
Like, to you and I, we just do that naturally without, we can do that without even thinking.
I can do it on a foreign controller. Like, like if I pick up a controller and it's different than how I'm set up, I'm like, oh, this is, okay.
You can rearrange the buttons. Yeah. In about 5 minutes,
which is
my hands will just figure it out.
Which is something that is like now you can map your buttons to how you want. That's something that you could never do before. Like buttons were dedicated, and you just had to learn to play the game that you wanted the way that worked.
Because people would be pissed off now if they don't get like button mapping. Yeah. They'd be like, "How? Come on! What if I only have 3 fingers or 2 fingers?" Which is true. I'm not making fun of that. No,
that's that privilege.
That's not that privilege. That's
I'm fucking with y'all.
They're trying to to accommodate gamers who've never been able to play games before.
And this is why I think with in cases like with Laurel, I think if Laurel really wanted to play those games, she could
for sure. If my kids learned how to do it, she can sit down and learn how to do it. They just don't do the same thing for her.
Right.
She hasn't
found a game yet that has given her an impetus to do that.
Right. She looks at the effort it takes to play a game and to
figure out,
to experience the story as a thing that she doesn't want to overcome, because by that point, if she's going to sit down and do something on a couch, it's going to be relaxed, and to her that's not a relaxing thing to her.
I wonder if that's the thought process for a lot of people who don't have that skill. That particular. I mean, if this is something that you find in your life, or people in your life that are like this, and you want to weigh in, feel free to reach out to us at
whatweinto@gmail.com. My host is Robert Comer Robinson. I am
your boy Rob Comer Robinson.
No, you weren't even listening.
I'm
Laura Style.
Are we?
We're done. We gotta go.
No, I was gonna give us. You know the places where you can hit us up at. We'll see you next week.
Peace. Later, haters.
Ugh.
Oops. I got pauses.
I'm gonna kill you in your fucking sleep.
You love it.
I don't.
Love it so much.
I don't. That's why I rail against you every week. You say it.
Straight out of Hogwarts, crazy motherfucker named Potter, from the gang of wizards that slaughter. When I'm called out, I got my wand out, flick of the wrist and the bodies are hauled out. You too, boy, if you fuck with me, the ministry's gonna have to come and get me. Off my broom, Nimbus 2000, fly by to the haters that's clowning. Draco's gonna act up, he's getting smacked up. Cool as daddy if he's looking for some backup. Avada is a tool. Don't make me roast some motherfucking fools. So when I'm in the Great Hall, you better duck, cause Harry Potter is crazy as fuck. And as I leave, I kill the Dark Lord. But when I come back, boy, I'm coming straight out of Hogwarts. Yo, Hagrid. The world know